Today we're going to be talking about harvesting techniques with the Quick Cut Greens harvester. And I want to say the only reason I'm showing you guys this is because my good buddy Jody Roebuck, visiting from New Zealand, pointed out to me that I use this tool differently than a lot of other farmers. So I'm going to show you guys how I use it. That's coming up next on The Urban Farmer. Okay, we got a bed of arugula here. Not the most ideal bed to harvest with, but needless to say, I can explain the techniques. So, a couple things first. This tool is extremely sharp. I change this blade every 3 weeks about. And so I keep it really sharp. When I'm walking with it, I never, ever walk with it like this. I always keep the blade out. I also use a piece of cardboard on this to cover the blade when I'm transporting it from place to place. But when I'm walking into the field, I'm usually holding a tote with me, and the harvester is out like this. So, I can use this tool in a couple different ways. The first way I do it, which is probably the way I do it the most often, is a backwards movement. So I'll just do it. So if it's a relatively thin harvest and you can cut a lot with that much movement, that's the way I'll do it. So that's the first one. I'll just reenact that again. So as I'm walking back, you know, when you're doing it this way, you have to really know your surroundings very well and make sure there's nothing you're going to trip over as you go back. But as I'm going back, I'm either holding it like this or like this. I'm taking small baby steps and walking back at a nice even pace. So that's the first way. The other way I harvest is if I have a really thick crop and I'm getting a lot per square foot, I'll actually straddle the bed and do it this way. Then I might go and harvest some more here. Okay, there's another way I harvest as well. So on a really tall crop, if the crop is really hanging out far on the sides, it's draping into the walkways, if you cut it the two ways I just showed you, what will happen is you'll knock down the sides, similar to this, but more extreme, and you'll have all these uncut greens that didn't get cut, and in 2 days they'll stand up, and then you'll notice you have this really patchy looking bed, which in some cases I just come back the next day and cut it again once it stands up. But the way to avoid that is to cut the sides first. And so what I do is I straddle the bed and I come at it like this to get the sides first. You can do that in a number of ways. You can do it while you're standing in the row, this way. So if I did it that way, I'd come and do it on the other side here. And then I come and finish in the back, so I'll dump my greens out. This is a really patchy bed. We had a really poor germination here. I don't really like using drip on direct seeded crops like this, but it's what this plot had set up and I needed to plant it here. So anyways, a bit of a patchy bed, not the greatest example. But so what I'm gonna do now is I come in and just finish what I've already got. So this way of harvesting is a static way. So this is in a way our fourth method is I'm standing static. Sort of like a yoga move where I'm just shuffling this way and then I'll move down to the next part and then do the same. Static, static, and then go on to the next part. Okay, just to reiterate that for you guys. So there's 4 movements that I do. There's probably more out there. I'm sure some of you who use the greens harvester have some ideas, and please leave your comments and questions below. I'd love to hear what others using this tool are doing. But the first one was our backwards motion, kind of taking little baby steps backwards along our footpath. The second was the straddle, straddling the bed and then moving back, doing little bits at a time. The third one was for if you have a really tall crop and you want to prevent the stuff hanging over from the sides. You come in from the sides, you cut the sides first. And then the fourth one was the static movement, the sort of the yoga one, where you're standing using your legs to do the movements for you, and then striding down and doing the same thing again. If you guys have found that helpful, hit the subscribe button right now. Leave your comments and questions below. Like and share these videos with your friends, and if you want to see more in-depth content like this, check out my online courses. One is at profitableurbanfarming.com, and the other course I have is my one-day workshop. Still time to get the discount code. It's up for a few more days. You can get that at my website at theurbanfarmer.co/book. PUF one-day workshop is in there. And of course my book has all this information in it as well. Not so much the details like this, but a lot of what I talk about in my videos. So you can check that out at theurbanfarmer.co. And if you'd like to make a donation to the show, it's much appreciated and always welcome. You can do that at theurbanfarmer.co/support. All right.